Grace and peace to you, my friends. Hello and greetings from First Presbyterian Church of Fort Lauderdale. My name is Pam Masten. I'm one of the associate pastors here, and thank you so much for joining me today. This Sunday is the 6th Sunday of Easter, and it's also Mother's Day. Be sure to call your mama or those who are like moms to you. From our Revised Common Lectionary for Sunday, we find Luke's account of the Gentile inclusion in Acts chapter 10. You'll want to read verses 44 to 48 in preparation for Sunday. The larger context of this chapter points to a monumental event in the life of the early church, highlighting the encounter between Peter and Cornelius. Perhaps the greatest barrier to the spread of the gospel in the first century was the Jewish-Gentile conflict. Most of the early believers were Jewish, and it was thought scandalous to even think of associating with Gentiles. But you guessed it, God had a plan which included both Peter, a Jewish Christian, and Cornelius, a Gentile. God was making clear that the good news of the gospel is for everyone, and we should not allow barriers, be it language, culture, race, economics, educational level, or anything else, to keep us from sharing the gospel with others. This was a big turning point for the early church. Well, things got even more exciting when Peter goes to Cornelius' house, where he finds a large gathering of people. Cornelius and his friends and family were anxious to hear what Peter had to say, so Peter begins to speak. Peter preaches a sermon, of course. We can't help ourselves. And while Peter was still preaching, the Holy Spirit interrupts. Don't you just love when you have a plan and it gets interrupted? But you know what happened, right? Peter was called to an uncomfortable place. Perhaps he had never been to a Gentile's home, who knows? And he shares the news, the good news, that the gospel is available to all, even the Gentiles. Just like that, surprise, the Holy Spirit interrupts. This Sunday, we find a wideness of God's grace and a reminder that the Holy Spirit will not be contained by boundaries or even limitations we might place upon ourselves and others. I wonder, where do we see evidence today of the expanding scope of God's grace? Are we surprised by the movement of the Holy Spirit? And if we aren't, then why not? Well, friends, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to many of you who sent cards, emails, texts, and tokens of celebration on my completion of the Doctor of Ministry degree. It's been a mostly wonderful journey and also a wonderful feeling to see the finish line. And towards that end, my husband and I and our youngest daughter, Hannah, who recently graduated from college, will be traveling to New Jersey for an in-person graduation ceremony on Friday, May the 14th. Again, thank you for your support and encouragement throughout these past couple of years. Friends, I'm looking forward to worshiping with you on Sunday. Bring a friend to church on Mother's Day. Stay healthy, and we'll see you on Sunday.